Yesterday, we saw an entire town attempt to take down our hero, Vash the Stampede, who not only survived, but then saved the town from the dreaded Nebraska Family, which has two people in it, but technically that qualifies. We quickly learn that there's a huge bounty on the giant and his father thanks to their jailbreak, so instead of the townspeople needing to bring Vash in, they get to use the reward to fix their broken machine. Vash is insistent on this point, and for that he gets free sandwiches. I mean, that's got to be a fair trade. As for Meryl,
why did it have to be him?
She's having trouble fitting the sexy image of the unstoppable rogue into the shape of this jackass. Meryl tries to make the best of this as she leads him through the town speaking of how dangerous he is, but is upset because all the people love him for what he's done. And they're growing big in anime, don't they? Millie explains why they're hanging around him now. It's their job to try to mitigate the amount of destruction that happens around him in order to save money for the insurance company that they represent. It's going to be hard to stay in business if every time Vash walks into town he exits a pile of ruins. We know this because we've seen it happen from time to time. Well, everyone is excited because the sand steamer has finally arrived. Basically a railroad on steroids, and then every other performance-enhancing drug up to and including Captain America's Super Soldier Serum. Besides rolling up with goods for sale, the sand steamer is bringing skilled workers to fix their machines so that they can live. And leading them is this hot mama.
Hey, goddess girl, would you like to go on a date, huh? Hey, I'm the guy who's in charge of this fine city.
Respect the office, if not the man.
Hey, don't you know I'm Supersonic Sodom the Great?
I don't even know what to say to that. Meanwhile, Vash is up by the big machine and pours out an entire bottle of wild turkey, finishing with, "You were just tired." Insert impotence joke here. Well, the hot engineer has shown up to help explain why there's that super bounty on him.
Wanted for the murder of Count Lebnant Vasquez and under suspicion of Class G weapon damage.
I'm not sure which of those two is bigger, but they do both sound bad. Elizabeth here is handling what we're now told is called a fairy light plant. That they are the relics of a now lost technology that is what allows them to survive in what would otherwise be a lethal environment. Hence why this town has been in so much trouble. And speaking of being in trouble...
That's right, she may not look it, but she's
Millie,
20...
he doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, I'd advise against it anyway, pal. She's really bitchy.
What did you say?
Bitchy's a little overboard. A little. Still not nice. You wouldn't want to be regarded as a dog, would you?
Come along, Spot.
Vash is serving as her bodyguard until the job is finished, after which all his romantic dreams will come true. But first, to test that bodyguard job, an assassin bursts through the window with serious knives. I mean, yes, technically most knives are already serious. Rubber knives are only useful as toys and props. Well, what I mean is that these are the knives that you employ to maximize the chance of messing someone up. It's like, most boxers you wouldn't want to get into a fist fight with, but then these are the knives that are the equivalent of Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV. When Vash manages to keep from getting skewered and has the guy dead to rights, he asks him politely to leave. Now see, this is a good object lesson in showing the difference between the letter of something and the spirit. Elizabeth switched their room numbers, just in case this thing might happen, but she didn't tell Vash. Well, he does not appreciate that fact, nor her refusal to share her room with him, although in her defense he'd likely spend the night trying to talk his way into her pants. And it's going to be a busy day. She explains that she understands a lot about the lost technology that makes these plants work, but that knowledge makes her a target, which is why Meryl is furious about the room being blown up, another disaster that the insurance society has to pay for, and she heads to the plant to give Vash the business, and to tell him to get out of the plant before he wreaks some kind of unimaginable horrors on this thing that can't be replaced. Just being here means that something will go wrong.
Chief, there's a malfunction in section number 3.
Remember, correlation is not necessarily causation. She brings Vash to help her sort this out, but the assassin is waiting. This time Vash uses the assassin's own knives to pin him to the floor, but that's when we find out the truth. Elizabeth hired the assassin to kill Vash, but not for the bounty. No, this time it's personal. She lived in the city of July as a child, one of the biggest cities on Gunsmoke. Yes, sometimes Trigun feels like its names are just drawn from a random English generator. July was completely destroyed by Vash. Despite no one being killed during the destruction, the 1.4 million inhabitants soon turned on each other, and in the chaos that followed, her parents died.
Repent. Repent and die!
That's not as incentivizing as you think it is. What's particularly horrifying is that her vengeance is destroying the plant in the process. She's blowing it up and taking him with it, meaning the last hope for this town is being yanked away to doom it as surely as the one that she wants to avenge. Only Vash goes up to the big sort of light bulb thing and gestures at it in a strange way. Light rains down on him, rods rise up, and rather than being destroyed, the plant stabilizes. Thanks to the power of heart. I don't know, it's the best explanation I have so far. So instead of revenge, Elizabeth has just made Vash a bigger hero than he already was.
I'm very sorry that I didn't die.
I've heard about Japan being an overpolite society, but that seems like it's going too far. Vash explains that he has no memory of what happened in July, just waking up after the destruction had already happened. In fact, he remembers nothing from before that at all, save memories of early childhood. Not knowing if he is or isn't responsible, Elizabeth wants to kill him anyway, just for the closure. But then she recognizes him as the man who comforted her after she had fled from July, so she can't do it anymore. Can't have her revenge. Just gonna have to find fulfillment in saving people from dehydration and starvation, as hollow as that sounds. The first 4 episodes introduced us to Trigun's world and main characters. We know Vash is a highly capable fighter and gunman who doesn't take life, but is a blend of wandering put-upon goofball and wounded soul. We know that Meryl and Millie are much more capable than they might seem at first glance. We know that there is a fantastical technology on this world despite its adherence to an Old West-style setting. What we're now seeing is the show growing from that. Meryl has accepted that the rogue bad boy she imagined is in reality a fool who tries her patience. Vash has a hidden past that even he doesn't know about. There is something mysterious regarding these fairy light plants and their practically magical ability to alter the landscape to something habitable. But what we're also seeing is that there is something even more to him than we might have gleaned. In the past, we could have dismissed his actions as rule of cool animated exceptions that allow him to do things that should be beyond any human. But now we have definitively confirmed that there is something superhuman about him. The series is settling in for the story now by altering the circumstances and the narrative style to give us more than just a vignette of the week. There is now progression and a direction. And we'll see more of that when we next return to Trigun.